if you go out tonight, you must understand, all of these people are bored to death. They're bored. They're bored. Okay? So you got to give them something different that they can talk about. Like, wait, what? We're doing this outside. I go, cheers. And then when people cheers, I go, to Jeffrey Epstein. And they're like, wait, what? And now they've just cheers to Jeffrey Epstein. I'm like, gone too soon. And they're like, what do you mean gone too soon? I'm like, oh, before he could inform on his criminal co-conspirators, of course. As I was saying, it's great to meet you guys. By the way, this is my son. He's damn, you look very well put together this evening. Are you involved in the fashion industry in some capacity? Well, anyway, like, and boom, 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 boom. It's like, I can talk endlessly. I can go up and I can just riff fucking endlessly. Why? Because I have trained two things. I have trained, number one, my imagination to go on these like very free adventures of like free association with whatever is given me. I have also trained the allowing function of my intuition to blurt and like whatever comes up. Because here's the thing. Cognition, intellect, can only work with information that's consciously available to it in the moment. Intuition can work with memories and constellations of memories that you're not even thinking about at the time. Now, many people discount the power of intuition because it's not what's taught in school, right? What's taught in school? Rote problem solving, memorization, solutions through, like, again, intellect. But intellect will not help you in these types of interactions. Because why? Like I said, it can only work with information that's been like dredged up and is in the cognitive working space. Your mind is a coach. What does the coach do in the game? Calls plays, subs in different people, you know, like, but he doesn't play on the court. The mind does not need to play on the court. Like mind, just chill. Just wait on the sides, call the plays. You're good. You don't need to be in charge of everything all the time. Because that's the thing, your mind has elevated itself to this position of authority over the whole system. But in many cases, the mind is not equipped to deal with these energies it's put itself in charge of. It's useful, but it's not going to help you, particularly in these types of situations. Just like let it fucking be, man. This is why meditation is so helpful, because it teaches you, like, what is a thought? Where does it come from? Where does it go? How does it rise? How does it fall? What is a thought trying to do? Like, what is it? You know, once you start investigating that, you realize you are not the thoughts. You can say, all right, now I can sort of kind of compartmentalize all of that, and the mind then can become a useful and supportive tool in your interactions, as opposed to this like judgmental fucking hindrance. Let's say I'm talking to someone, they mention something. It doesn't even matter what it is. Whatever the fuck they say, like my intuition is going to churn out subconsciously, and in a millisecond, it's going to put forth some sort of anecdote, some sort of story from my life relating to that, some factoid about that, and I'm just going to blurt that. And I'm just going to say that, and maybe I'm going to try to make it funny, and then maybe I'm going to kind of move it in the direction of where I want it to go. And I can just... There's two ways to strengthen intuition. Number one, you can feed it more soft data. What does that mean? Stay alive longer, you know, go travel, have more varied experiences, be intellectually curious, read a lot. But that takes time. That can't be trained. What you can train is the allowing function, right? Allow it. Just say it. Like little things you can do, even like, you know, you go to a restaurant, give yourself 10 seconds to choose what to eat off the menu. Your phone rings in your pocket. Try to predict who texted you, right? Little things like that. Like just every day, I'm just like you can train the allowing function of intuition. Another one I really like is, hey, excuse me, I'm extremely attractive. I wanted you to meet me. How does it feel to talk to someone out of your league? How does it feel? Feels good, doesn't it? Feels good. Anyway, and again, it's all very jokey. I say these things not because I'm like, oh, this is the good thing that'll work. It's because I find it funny. Yeah. Like if you don't find it funny, it's not going to fucking work. In fact, it'll blow up terribly in your face. And then once I get past that initial hook, we're like, okay, let's see what this is about. Then I downshift, and then I go about 70, so it's about 90%, 10%. Then I'll downshift to about 70%, 30%, because that's another thing. If you just go and brrr, now you're talking at them. Right? You're not having a conversation. You don't want to talk at people where they're just like, dude, what the fuck? Is this like a stand-up routine? Like, that's bad too. I used to think, you know, back in the day, I'd go up and I'd start to hear things like, are you a comedian? I'd be like, that's good, I'm funny, right? No, it's not good. It means you're fucking weird. Normal people do not talk like this. So if you're getting those kind of reactions, So that's not good. So I'll downshift it, and I'll kind of get a little bit more real, but I'll keep it pretty funny, like where I'm just like, we're like riffing, like it's kind of funny too. So last night we were at Hotel Vegas, I'm talking to these girls, and like there was like a trash can. I'm like, this is your home. You belong in this trash can. You're like fucking Oscar the Grouch. She's like, what? I'm like, to be fair, Oscar the Grouch was the coolest Muppet. I truly believe that. I mean, he lives in a trash can. He has a pet elephant that's somehow able to fit in the trash can, which evidently is like the TARDIS or something. It's like bigger on the inside than the outside. I always found him fascinating. Who's your favorite Muppet? Well, I like fucking Animal. I'm like, yeah, I liked Animal. I also like Janice, the drummer from the band. But so it's this very like fun, lighthearted thing. I was there with my girl. I'm like, here, meet this. She's like, who's this? She's my sister. I'm like, I fuck my sister. It's like Game of Thrones. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, see. I'm like, and then she kissed her. I'm like, happy family. And we saw a kiss. I'm like, now get in your home. Get in your home. I'm like, by the way, we're gonna have a party later. It's gonna feature gay sex and cocaine. And she's like, wow, you're saying all the right things. I'm like, yes. Anyway, now the tonality has been established. Now it's been established. This is what this is, okay? This is not a platonic little thing. Okay, we're kind of doing this now. Like, we're kind of romantic. This is a romantic thing. Now we can back the fuck off and act fucking normal. So actually, yeah, where do you live here? Oh, cool. Yeah, what part of town? Okay, and I'm still peppering in little things in there even too. I'm like, so yeah, where do you live? Oh, you live there? What's the address? When are you home alone? Do you have like an alarm perhaps, or a big dog or a gun? Are there any bushes outside I could perhaps conceal myself in with a rubber chicken and a ski mask? I believe the kids are calling it a shiesty these days. The rubber chicken's for my personal comfort. It's like an emotional support chicken for my problems, my neuroses and so forth. But anyway, no, but anyway, seriously, like oh yeah, cool. Oh yeah, so we just got in. Yeah, we live in San Francisco. They're actually having like an atmospheric river, which is I guess what they're calling rain now. But anyway, so then I'll go normal and I talk about what I actually do and my actual. So then the unveiling happens, and that might take an hour, 2 fucking hours. So but that initial bam, that's going to be like 10 like that initial spark. It's going to happen immediately or not at all. So interest first, then rapport. That doesn't mean you discard rapport. That's another thing, because then people, they hear this shit and then they think, oh, well, I can just discard rapport. And they think like, oh, I just go in and I fucking get get some makeout and then I can just go home. It's like, no, dude, just because it comes first doesn't mean you can dump the rapport. That still has to be there. Because can you act normal for a fucking hour? But this is why I'll always counsel people, do not go for the rapport stuff off the bat. Like keep it fun, keep it spicy, keep it light, and then see if there's something there first. And if there's something there, then you can get real and again do the unveiling and bring all that out. So anyway, is there any other like kind of topics you'd like me to really quickly address?
All right. Say you had a half-shipped babe, right? You had to write 5 or 7 affirmations to like leave for your kid to like live on with to the rest of his life. What would be those 5 or 7 affirmations that you?
5 or 7 affirmations. I move through this world without apology. I make no excuses for my desires. People are a dime a dozen. I can replace them at any moment. Your emotions are lying to you. Act accordingly. That's 4. That's only 4. Your emotions are lying to you. No, that is true, because I think emotional control is a whole other aspect. So like you have the intellect, you have the emotions, you have the intuition, you got your face, your voice, and your body, all which have intuitive understandings of how to express things. And every one of those systems is trying to assert what it believes is best for the well-being of the organism, with only this sort of like imperfect tendency towards unification. So you have to like start to understand how all of these things are intertwined. You can break those things apart and you can work on them individually, and then you can put them back together in a more completely realized whole instrument.
The live program is really good for taking action and solidifying certain lessons into yourself. Like it's in your nervous system. It's impossible not to learn something. You're gonna walk away from this program, there's gonna be something a lot different about you. I watched, these guys on YouTube for years, and I sat around with great intentions. I had good intentions all day, and it did nothing. I stayed the same. When I went and started taking good actions, not only did I have external results that started to change, my perception of myself started to shift. Nothing's going to shift with good intentions. It's only going to shift with good actions. Thank you, Jeffy. I'm excited for the future, and I'm excited to just keep trying to grow on this journey. Thank you so much.